Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. The Citizenship Amendment Act does not classify or differentiate on the grounds of religion. This is what Ministry of Home Affairs has clarified, strengthening its push to CAA, pointing out that it merely classifies religious persecution in countries with a state religion. Now, the rules of the law have been notified, expediting the paperwork and procedures that go into granting Indian citizenship to 6 non-Muslim communities from Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Now, these are largely Hindus, Sikhs and Christians, among others, who have faced religious persecution for being followers of their faith and have also been victims of blasphemy laws and large-scale atrocities. Politics, of course, has peaked over this law and the rules. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Wednesday accused the centre of planning to give rights of Indian citizens to illegal migrants. He also urged people to vote against the BJP in the upcoming Lok Sabha polls if the centre did not withdraw the act. West Bengal Chief Minister and TMC Supremo Mamata Banerjee urged people of a state not to register their names on the portal because it would lead them declaring themselves as foreigners and losing their land and rights here. This even as BJP has accused the opposition of stoking communal passion by speaking lies. Now, this has become a war over history and a battle of narratives, with the BJP stressing on civilisational bonds and duty and the opposition citing the constitution and principles of equality. Now, who has the edge here? That's what we discussed tonight. But first, some reactions.
यहाँ से अल्पसंख्यकों को हमारे देश में लाया जाएगा, उनको रोजगार दिए जाएंगे, उनके लिए घर बनाए जाएंगे, उनको यहाँ बसाया जाएगा। अजीब बात है ना। बीजेपी की केंद्र सरकार से हमारे बच्चों को रोजगार दिए नहीं जा रहे, पाकिस्तान से लोगों को लाके उनके बच्चों को रोजगार देना चाहते हैं। हमारे लोगों के पास तो घर नहीं है, भारत के तो ढेरों लोग बेघर हैं, लेकिन बीजेपी वाले पाकिस्तान से लोगों को लाके उन्हें भारत में बसाना चाहते हैं, उनको घर देना चाहते हैं।
मित्रों, आज केजरीवाल का एक बहुत ही विचित्र वक्तव्य आया है कि सीए के आने से बाहर के लोग नौकरी लेंगे। ये कौन सा तर्क है? ये जो हिंदुस्तान में लोग आए हैं, ये कौन है? ये अपने आस्था के नाम पर प्रताड़ित होकर आए हैं। पाकिस्तान, बांग्लादेश, अफगानिस्तान से, और वो इसलिए प्रताड़ित हुए कि उनकी आस्था दूसरी थी। वो हिंदू थे, सिख थे, क्रिश्चियन थे, पारसी थे। तो भारत तो एक प्रकार से इस तरह से प्रताड़ित लोगों के लिए अवसर देता है ना, और यही रह रहे हैं ना वो बड़ी संख्या में। तो क्या उनको कानूनी माध्यम से नागरिकता का संरक्षण देना भारत का नैतिक, संवैधानिक और सांस्कृतिक अधिकार है या नहीं?
So joining me now is Pratyush Kant of the BJP, Abhinandita Mathur of the Aam Aadmi Party, and Amitabh Tiwari, who is a political analyst and social commentator. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Starting with you, Ms. Mathur. So the Aam Aadmi Party has been consistent in its opposition to the CAA, but while rest of the opposition has been saying that this is a law that's anti-constitution, anti-Muslim, your critique of it is very different. You're saying that migrants will take away rights of Indian citizens. Why is your party, that is otherwise never shy of wearing Hindu symbolism on its sleeve, opposing something like this?
Good evening. Look, we all know that the BJP is here to win elections by hook or by crook. And very unfortunately, it has reached a point where it does not mind putting the country at risk. CAA is an example of that, and it's an extremely dangerous step for our country. The reason why we oppose it, amongst all the other reasons that you mentioned also, is one, that at a time when our own country is suffering, we have an economic setback, especially since this government has come in. The unemployment is at an all-time high. There are so many other problems that we are dealing with, which the Modi government has absolutely had no will to solve. At this time, they are willing to actually invite illegal migrants or migrants into our country while your own citizens are suffering. How about basically putting your own house in order first? Number two, opening borders in this way is actually very, very, very dangerous. Why I say this is because there is absolutely no mechanism at the moment with the BJP, given how they also implement the other policies. There is no mechanism at all that it's going to be foolproof. We might actually end up inviting some very unnecessary and dangerous sources to the country.
Okay.
The other point is that opening the borders in states like Assam, etc., especially these states, you're actually taking away the rights, the homes, the
Right.
livelihood of the people, and doing a direct attack in how we understand India as a sovereign country.
Okay.
The
Okay,
fourth
let me
point
get
is-
Pratyush Kant to
Sorry,
respond to that.
Just a minute. Let
Yes,
me finish.
yes,
I'll
yes.
quickly finish. Yes, the fourth and the most important point is that at this point, after 10 years of BJP rule, इन्होंने airports बेच दिए, इन्होंने अपने corporate friends को भगा दिया. There are so many resources that have just been looted to help BJP's corporate friends. At this time, to divert the attention from real issues that the country is grappling with, they bring in CAA, hoping that we will be divided, but that is not the case. What the Aam Aadmi Party is actually trying to do
Yes.
is bring awareness of how the CAA actually impacts every Indian citizen.
Okay,
That
Mr.
is
Kant,
a
would you like to
legitimate-
respond to that? Because, while it's one thing to look at CAA as a humanitarian issue, you cannot deny the narrative that someone else might come and take away your land and job can actually fluster people. How is your party planning to counter that, if that is true?
Let me begin with the most devious, dangerous and shameless statement given by Arvind Kejriwal. That man has not bothered to read what CA says. Anybody who has read CA will never come with a concocted story like what Kejriwal came up today with the people. They are such people who are trying to divide this country. CA is something which is giving the rightful place to the displaced people living in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan because of religious persecution.
Yes.
They
Mr.
are
Azhar,
being
let us
offered
finish.
a
I'll come to
place
you.
in
I'll
this
come to you.
country, a rightful life with dignity. With dignity. What Arvind Kejriwal is doing is he's totally changing the story. Totally changing the story. Because he thought this is the best way for him to try to fool the people of this country by selling stories which are not true at all. Let me tell you, if he or anybody in Aam Aadmi Party had bothered to read what CAA says, they would know that if you are living in this country for 1 to 6 years, you are here before 2014, then you are eligible for CAA and you get a citizenship. You get your rightful life because you have been persecuted being a Hindu or a Jain or a Buddhist or a Parsi or a Sikh in those 3 countries which are not secular countries.
Okay.
Now look what they are saying, opening the borders, doing this, totally trying to mislead the people of this country because you have not read what CAA says. CAA clearly says that if you have been religiously prosecuted, India will give you place, you will have given rightful place
Right.
here, you'll have a job, you'll have a good, comfortable life. This is what
Let
we
me
are
get
offering
in
people.
Mr. Tiwari
Let
here.
me complete.
Mr.
Let me
Tiwari,
complete.
politics.
See,
Ms. Mathur,
they are-
I'll come to
they
you.
are
Ms. Mathur,
trying-
let me
No,
just
I'll
get
just-
one
I'll
comment
just
from
take-
Mr. Mathur
I'll
and I'll
just
come
take
to
10
you.
seconds.
Mr. Tiwari, politics aside, how do you see the optics of CAA influencing India's diplomatic position? Because both Mr. Kant and Ms. Mathur here are making very important points here. The Prime Minister has been talking about the nation becoming a Vishwaguru. Would this act be seen as India standing up as protector of rights of minorities, addressing historical wrongs, or do you think the exceptions will stand out?
See, essentially, Hinduism is a religion which is practiced mostly in India only. The largest number of Hindus live in India. So, by that logic and by the humanitarian angle, Hindus who were left in Pakistan, both East and West Pakistan, and have been religiously persecuted, and if they wish to come back to India, and they've already have come back to India, and that is sort of a duty of India to grant them citizenship. So that in a way enhances our Vishwaguru or the stature of being a protector of Hindus across the world and even some minorities. And the number of people are not huge. If you leave West Bengal and Assam for the moment, the number of people, as per news reports and who quote Ministry of Home Affairs, is only 30,000 at a pan-India level. So that is not going to change the results of any seat or any election on a pan-India level. Now we come to the contentious states of Assam and Bengal. Now in Assam, this issue has been there for a long time. There is a 1971 Assam Accord. In West Bengal, there are significant number of Hindus, Madhwa community, who have been demanding for citizenship for a long time. It is there where the political angle comes in. And mind you, in Assam, where there is BJP rule, people are objecting to it because it could change the cultural complexion of the state.
Right. So Ms. Mathur, taking off from what Mr. Tiwari is saying, so India has been known as this country that opens its doors to vulnerable people from neighborhoods. We've had Sri Lankan Tamils, we've had Tibetan Buddhists. What would your party's stance be? Because today I was reading Indira Jaising and she has talked about India signing the Geneva Convention relating to state status of refugees. But what will be your party's position on this?
Look, there is absolutely no problem in doing something on humanitarian grounds. I don't think that is a problem. And, the Vishwaguru, the self-proclaimed Vishwaguru, should also know that this is not the first time. India has had a history of actually helping people, whoever has been in need. So it's not something that he has invented. The objectionable thing is how it is being implemented despite opposition for it. Despite the fact that you're actually not able to serve the country. In the last 10 years, you've not been able to solve half the problems of this country, and you think that you're going to invite more people. And why so much hoo-ha? If it was just about, giving citizenship to a handful of people, that would have been different.
Right.
But they are passing a law, they are going ahead and making these rules to make this sort of, statement thinking that they will be perceived well. I'm really sorry. It's not about how Vishwaguru image works for you. It is really basic. What we are asking is, where are the jobs for the other Assami boys from Assam?
Right.
Have you ensured that? Have you ensured safety for our women?
Mr. Kant, would you like to respond to that? And the last word from you, because Ms. Mathur is saying that this could actually hurt the livelihoods of existing population here. It may be true, it may not be true, but do you think that this narrative will find a lot of takers? Are you apprehensive that it may actually hit middle class voter base, lower middle class voter base of the BJP?
The viewers of your channel and the people of this country are far more educated than Arvind Kejriwal's and the people like him. This law does not talk about anything else except that if you were persecuted on these places, I never disturb. I know who's disturbing. So this law, does it take away your fundamental rights? No. Does it give you changes the Foreign Citizen Act? No. What is it doing? It is only giving citizenship to people who have been religiously persecuted. Where is the politics? Where is the economy? Where is the job? Where is the employment? Nothing of that sort. India is now the 5th largest economy. It will become the 3rd biggest economy. For the madam, I am telling you this. So we don't become a big country like that. During COVID, we gave shots to all over the world. Why?
Right.
Because we are a big country. People look at us. And all these 3 countries are not secular countries. They're not secular countries. Where will these people go? Where will the Hindus, the Jains, the Sikhs, the Parsis, where will they go?
Right.
India is offering
Mr. Kant, I'm out of time now. Thank you, Ms. Mathur. Thank you, Mr. Kant.
They deserve that.
And thank you,
They
Mr.
deserve that, and they must
Tiwari,
get that.
for taking part in this broadcast. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for making those important points.